Dr. Carmen Smith, and thank you for joining me. Be sure and subscribe and like to the video. In this video, I talk about power. Now, I remember I was talking at a church and I kept talking about God and the wonderful attributes that we have because God is within us. And I said, I was about to say a word and everybody thought I was going to say love because God is love. And we think of ourselves as, we need to be more loving. And I said, we are powerful. And I used the word power. And people were really taken back because maybe they don't see themselves as powerful. And that's an indication that they don't know who they are. When you're a God being, you know, because your DNA is vibrating with it, that you have power. Now, if you look up power in the dictionary, it says the ability to affect change. So you're like, well, I can affect change. If I get up from this chair and go sit on the couch, I've just changed the location of where I am. But did you also know that you can change your emotions to match the frequency of the universe and therefore manifest or bring forth on this earth what is needed at the time? That makes you powerful. So we do have the ability to have peace that passes all understanding, that people can't figure out. Why are you so peaceful when there's chaos all around you? Why are you so loving about humanity when humanity is doing this? Well, because I know I'm a powerful being and I can affect change based on my thoughts, my emotions that also create action within me and within the universe. So that's why I don't have to be attuned to this world. I mean, I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. And so that's where my power comes from. And I can create the reality that matches my power. Love you. The other thing that I'd like to talk about and give you a tool on how to change your story is you need to have examples of people in your life who have transcended events, transcended victimization, and gone into higher realms of identification. And if you don't have that example of someone walking on this planet, in the world, but not of the world, that is exuding that vibration of God energy, then you have to be the example to someone else. So it's worth doing the work of rewriting the story. It's worth going to that place where you've avoided and said, well, there's nothing but pain there. What I'm challenging you to do is there's a treasure there. And until you alchemize it, turn that lead into gold, turn that pain into triumph, or another way of looking at it, then that wound will still be there and you'll be part of the walking wounded. Now, countries, the United States is a walking wound. Looking at the past, it needs to identify, it needs to acknowledge that these things happened, this pain happened, but we can transform it once we acknowledge it into what are the lessons that we've learned. And one of the lessons, the biggest lesson is, who are you and who do you want to be going forward? And when we can connect with that as a country and say, who are we? And say, this is who we are. It's not what we exhibited in the past, acknowledging that, but it's time to move forward into the Christ consciousness, which exudes love, encouragement, compassion, trust, and power. We can do that individually, and we can do it as a country, and we can do it as a planet. But it has to come from, who are you? And if you identify with the past story, then you will always be that pain, that wound. And everything else that you create from that will be representative of that wound. So right now, it is time for us to say, I am that I am. It is not blasphemous to know that the temple of God is within us. And as Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Meaning all it takes is for us to really look and say, where do I want to come from? And is it the most empowering? When we come from that empowering Christ consciousness, we begin to see that in others. We begin to have the eyes of God. But it cannot happen if we are stuck in our wounds, because then all we see are other triggers that trigger us and our wounding. Let's take a deep breath. There is another technique that I'd like to share with you, and it's called the 4 strands of gratitude. This is a way that you can rewrite that story to be very bold, and also to bring forth that I am presence in everything that you create. The first strand of gratitude is something that is very common. This is something that most people do, especially at Thanksgiving. They're grateful for everything they can see. And they'll say, I'm grateful for the turkey. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my house. Whatever it is, whatever you can see, you're grateful for. And that is a first step. But there's another deeper way, and that is to be grateful for things that you can't see. I'm grateful for my safety. I'm grateful for the energy that is all around me, my ancestors protecting me. You see, I've gone from things that you can see to things that you can't see. I'm grateful that I rewrote my story, that I'm no longer tied and limited to that victim story. I'm so glad I rewrote it and found the treasures in it. Those are things that you can be grateful for and thankful for. The second strand of gratitude is actively looking for things to be grateful for. So when you're on your walk and you happen to see this flower sticking out of the concrete, you see it. The person next to you may not see it because they don't have this spiritual practice. But you begin to see all the glorious things around you that you may have been oblivious to before. Because when you're in your victim story, you see life through a straw and you don't see the full picture. You don't even know there's anything else out there. But as you begin to expand, your vision begins to expand and you begin to see the good where people are just not seeing anything good at all. You are the light shower. You show the light on things that are good and you see them and you look for them as a spiritual practice. The third strand of gratitude is that you look at your past. And you look at your past and you see the good. You see the lesson. You see how it made you grow. You see how it made you evolve. And you ask yourself, could I have evolved to this point of love without that thing happening? And the answer is no. That all of those things in our past allowed us to see aspects of who we truly are. It allowed us to see patience, unconditional love towards ourselves. And then we can give it to other people. So looking at your past and seeing the gifts in that and being grateful for those events that happened. Those events shape you into your most empowered self. Because if you survive that, oh, precious, what gifts and strengths you have within you going forward. And the fourth strand of gratitude, that when you begin to braid those other three, the fourth one becomes powerful. This is where your lion aspect is. The fourth one is affirming and manifesting the highest good for yourself and for others. And you can call this prayer, you can call it manifestation, but this is where you call it forth. You're not asking, you're not begging the universe for anything. You have become one, your true identity with the universe, and you call forth in affirmative prayer what it is that you want to create. But you've done the work. You've done all three steps. And when you get to that fourth step, you are the head and not the tail. You are the creative source because the temple of God is within you. And as your whole chakras begin to align, that energy shoots up. That electromagnetic energy is a wave and it goes quantumly, creating in the mystical realm any type of matter that you want to bring forth into the 3D realm. This is called power. And it cannot be activated unless you have had the love, the experiences, rewrote your story, and then come out on the other side as pure light. And that is who you are. You're not taught that, but it comes through your experiences as you boldly begin to live this new story of who you are. Oh, let's take a deep breath. Just so overjoyed to share this with you. Because as you begin to live it, you become an example for the world. And you begin to change this whole paradigm. It is not stronger than you. You are more powerful than you can ever imagine. Love you.